The loud hiss of the hydraulic door opening and depressurizing sounded out in the massive, miles-wide empty chamber, with a single machine in the center. Myself and my group walk forwards, with our metallic footsteps echoing out, as we uniformly march to the machine in the center. Me and my team of 5 all stop in front of the device that is meant to hold the knowledge of our long-lost legacy. It took us thousands upon thousands of years to finally find even a small thread to grab to rediscover our lost history. We aren't the only old race with a lost history, not after the Great War. That war left half of the universe dead, and the other half grasping for breath and praying to now dead gods that they would make it through. There were millions of races with uncountable numbers of lives that had lost their histories and forgot who they were before the war. What is known is that a mythic race that has been praised, feared, and revered called humanity started the war. The exact reasons are lost to time, as are the specifics of the first battles. We know that humanity started it by fighting some slaver empire that served some lesser god of desire. We know the war escalated when the empire tried to surrender and humanity pushed for their genocide. The god that this empire served stepped in to prevent the complete extinction of the race that served him. The humans took this personally and decided that if a god would stand in their way, then they would kill a god. That was the first time humanity would kill a god, but it would be far, far from the last. After that war was settled, and humanity was given the title of God Killers, nobody touched them for a time. Eventually, though, another empire under another lesser god, this one a god of war, wanted to prove their strength and challenged humanity. We know that they attacked unprovokedly, and killed no less than 10 human worlds in a surprise attack to start the war. This ignited a fury in the humans that dwarfed what they showed even in their last war. The Empire, under this god of war, fell in mere months, under the wrath of humanity, that made even some lesser gods of wrath recoil in horror. This time, humanity didn't even pause, as they bound, chained, and subdued this god of war. They dragged him back to the capital of the human empire, and publicly executed a god with a live feed across the galaxy. The force with which they used to kill this god was said to atomize even his divine vessel. Other lesser gods, out of fear, jealousy, and some out of boredom and greed, aligned together to eliminate humanity. It is said that the humans faced a 10-front war, all against divine empires who outnumbered them 3-1. At the end of that war, 10 new gods lay dead, their divine essence spreading across human space and enhancing the humans further. Well, it would have been if humans were able to use magic or divinity. Instead, the humans saw no difference in their worlds, and continued as normal. After this war, no lesser god dared to even invoke the notice of humanity, lest their unholy armaments be turned to them. There were god-killer races before, but none had ever killed a full dozen gods. Humanity for a time became untouchable. Peace reigned in the human empire for a few centuries, and they developed in silence and prosperity with other races. That is, until an intermediate god of slaughter saw mankind and tried to subjugate them as his loyal slave soldiers, after hearing how even lesser gods were unable to bar their path. This war turned into one between 2 galaxies, and humanity, with steps like those of an old titan, a being beyond even gods, marched across the void between galaxies and sought to exterminate this new threat. The weapons they brought to bear in this war bent the laws of reality itself until they screamed for mercy. The ships they piloted, named Planet Breakers, after the old icebreaker ships they used in their naval days. The ships would sail through planets, cracking them in half, and hardly even slowing down. The intermediate god threw dozens of lesser gods at humanity, and 10 times that number in empires under his rule. Humanity slew gods like reaping wheat from a field, and the normal citizens under these gods were oft seen kneeling to humans in worship and surrender. Whole empires bend the knee under humanity's titanic wrath until they faced the intermediate god himself, and in a battle they tore asunder the very supermassive black hole that held the god galaxy together. Humanity lost half of their forces, but finally, the intermediate god fell as well. At this point, even the high gods took notice of humanity, as many races had slain lesser gods. None in the history of creation had any killed an intermediate god. Humanity knew this as well, and it is said they converted in their whole to a life of war and power. It is said that their civilization reached a Type 3 on the Kardashev scale, and with the power of their entire galaxy concentrated created weapons that could smite past the reality itself from being. They knew other gods would come to eliminate a threat, the likes of which they had never seen before, and the power they built and began projecting was godlike in its own right. This is when the war finally, truly began. The gods attacked first, and in a matter of years hundreds of lesser gods fell, and the humans had expanded to other galaxies, and tamed them as well. Divine blood flowed into rivers in this war, and as it went on, more and more gods joined in, to form a front against the monster that were humanity. Then it happened. A human scientist made a breakthrough, and they became Type 4, pulling energy from the space between universes. This was the power of the divine, and a territory no mortal race was meant to tread. After humans achieved this, intermediate gods fell like grass to a mower. Then, the high gods decided enough was enough. Gods of creation, life and death stepped into the battle to suppress and annihilate the human menace. What nobody saw coming was that the humans would not kill but cripple every single high god that attempted to destroy them. With the high gods falling back to recover, humanity had a chance to catch its breath from its now millennia of constant war and battle against the divine. This was a chance that the gods would regret giving mankind, as they continued to develop and grow. They gained power over creation, and were harnessing whole universes in contained vessels to power their weapons and armaments. They stepped into the ranks of a Type 5 civilization, and stood as equals with the high gods themselves. With this new power, half of the universe kneeled at the feet and whims of humanity. This was when the Titans themselves came from beyond creation, from the space between space, from dimension designed specifically to allow them to exist without harming other universes. When they stepped into reality, the universe itself trembled before their power of time, space, creation, and a myriad of other powers beyond even God. Humanity did not back down, though this time they were exterminated in the quadrillions, galaxy by galaxy. They were pushed all the way back to their home galaxy, as the Titans sought their total destruction for disrupting the order they had worked for countless Googols to produce. When pushed into this corner, humanity desperately sought ways to fight these Titans, and a breakthrough occurred in a desperate gamble. A universal containment unit was thrown into a singularity, and then the singularity was launched into the face of a Titan of Karma. That day, the multiverse itself felt like it stopped from sheer terror. A Titan, the force that ruled over and maintained the balance of infinity, fell to its knees and died to the wrath of man. The other Titans were horrified, and summoned high gods from across all creation, and began a campaign that would end with the extinction of most known gods across infinity. Eventually, humanity pushed them all back. They were bloody, exhausted, and on the brink of faltering and falling down, but they pushed the Titans and God back into heaven. Then, in a fit of rage and a final desperate push, humanity broke into the multiverse and invaded even heaven itself. That day, heaven fell. Humanity had done it. They had won. They had a seat on the throne of all infinity. However, it came at an unimaginable cost. Humanity had pushed itself to the very brink, and ultimately they too fell with their final opponents. Humanity was lost to the universe and fell forever, but had freed every mortal race in creation from the oppression of the gods, and showed us we ourselves could become the gods. After this war, though, nobody in our universe knew their own histories. Kronos, Titan of Time, had, in a last fuck you to humanity, scattered history and time. He distorted everyone's memories and time became tangled. Humanity had prevented this from wiping any races out, but controlling time across infinity was no easy task, and history was not lost physically, but forgotten. Now my race and every other race seeks to find out lost pasts before we try to take steps forward as civilizations. In front of me and my team is the device set to hold out history, one we searched 20,000 years to find. Taking a deep breath that my mechanical body no longer needs, I place my hand on the device and start it, connecting my mind to the network of minds of my now mechanical race. We have been mechanical since the war. We lost not only our memory, but our biological forms. We are millions, but unable to reproduce or replicate ourselves. Our numbers have dwindled in our search for this device, and now all of my remaining brothers and sisters will know what we are. Then, as my mind connects to the device in front of me, I fall to my knees, and the sound of my team doing the same echoes through the chamber, as we, my entire race, humanity, in our collective mechanical forms begin to weep. All the knowledge of our past is once again restored from this device we have made, in case Kronos or another Titan decided to do something like this. I feel millions of trembling minds echo the same words, as knowledge of how to return to our biological selves comes in. We are human.